This is the warmest ghost film in history, but because of the theme of the soul, that is almost banned in the country. If in the afterlife no one misses him anymore, he will disappear from here. We call it the last departure. So where is that person going? No one knows. This is the best winning film at the awards ceremony 90th Oscar, Coco. The 12-year-old Miguel boy, Mexico, living in a family specializing in making prizes. But this family is strange that they hate music, not allow singing here, completely contrary to the typical culture of this Mexican town. Miguel loves music and always dreams that if only it had never happened to his family. It turned out, for a long time ago, the great-grandfather Miguel is a talented musician. The whole family was also extremely passionate about singing and dancing. They live in happiness, but he have a big dream that he bring his singing to the whole world. Finally, one day, he could not suppress his passion for music in his heart and carry the guitar on his back to leave the gentle wife and the little daughter, from which there was no credibility. The wife, who wants to raise children, has completely eliminated music from life, lowering the determination to learn to make a living. Gradually, their lives returned to normal. Then she taught her daughter to weave. Then even the son-in-law, and finally, the grandchildren must connect the family career. She alone tried to raise her daughter, at the same time building the foundation for the existence of the whole family. This is very popular Mexico. Although Mexico has a strong idea of disdain for men and women, but most of them still have the characteristics of the model society. Music has divided the family as a thick profession that made the family unite and flourish again. And the woman in this photo is Miguel's grandmother, Imelda. Each year, on the holiday of the soul, the whole family will recount her merits. And the little girl in this photo is also Miguel's grandmother. Because her age was so high, the 90-year-old lady had Alzheimer's. She no longer remembered who she was, nor did she remember her daughter in quality. But what Miguel liked the most was playing with her grandmother. Because when it comes out the truthfulness, in front of a person with dementia will not have to worry at all. During the dinner, the grandmother brought on the traditional Mexican dish that was somewhat similar to China's cakes. But when Miguel blew music with an empty bottle, his grandmother immediately got angry. Although my family is considered a thicker, Miguel always keeps his passion for music, and the same statue in the middle of the square is his idol, Ernesto de la Cruz. People in the town often organize many activities in this square. This is also an integral part of the Mexican village life. Young de la Cruz was just an anonymous singer. It was not until singing the song Remember Me that was released that he stepped on the path to becoming the greatest musician in history Mexico. Later also noted many successes in the film industry. Unfortunately, in 1942, he died of a large bell falling them. So a music legend has gone forever. The prototype of de la Cruz in the film is the famous actor and singer of the Mexican, Pedro Infante. Miguel looked at de la Cruz's picture from a distance as if there was a special relationship between the two. The dream of being restrained by the family made Miguel extremely miserable. A man next to him told him that there would be a music contest in the square, and in the past, de la Cruz also sang here. As soon as he finished speaking, the man immediately gave the guitar to Miguel, wanting to see his talent. But as soon as Miguel eagerly touched the string, the back sounded a scary voice. "What did you just do?" "Huh, you don't try to spoil my nephew. I'm crazy. I just told him to shoo." "I know what conspiracy you are. What did you say to you?" "He showed me the guitar. It is not ashamed. Later it must become a good shoemaker. Listen here, if you even dare to break your legs." Grandma, angry by the way, chasing the hairless dog. The whole family continues to educate thought for Miguel. "I just wear shoes. Must be shoo-shoo and sing. I don't know who can sing. My grandmother said that I could not go to the square, so I couldn't go there. The rules of the family are not being broken. The spirit of the soul is about to begin. On the family altar, the photos of the deceased relatives. Only then can they come back to visit their children and grandchildren. Grandma did not want Miguel later could not put photos on the altar like her ancestors. Suddenly, Mrs. Co-Mum mumbled and asked that her father had returned. The time of time destroyed the old lady's body, but in her memory there was still a vague suspicion of her father's silhouette. Miguel has never experienced the feeling of lost relatives. He quickly snuck into his secret base, and it kept his dream. Miguel made a simple guitar and watched de la Cruz's movies to motivate.
When the sunset fell, Chinese Xing'an singled the festival began to resound in the town. The marigold petals stretched into the path leading to the ancestors' home to welcome the ceremony. But when Miguel was about to sneak out to participate in the music contest, the grandmother suddenly declared an important decision. From now on, Miguel can officially learn to close shoes to inherit family career soon. The adults were satisfied to leave, but the Dante dog suddenly jumped out to eat the ancestors' offerings. During the lecture, the photo of her tried to fall
down, causing the glass to break into pieces. Miguel worriedly picked up photos. After that, it completely changed his life. Miguel unexpectedly discovered the guitar in the photo was from his idol. Is your ancestor idol De La Cruz's music? At this time, the old lady suddenly pointed to the picture and called her father. Miguel is extremely excited. He was more sure that the person in the photo was De La Cruz. Miguel loudly claimed to want to become a musician, but the next string, what is this? Do you dare to hide my family to do this? Definitely, because the whole day runs to the square, so it is like that. Throughout the day, dreaming. Are you not afraid to remember me later? When I leave forever, there is no photo placed on the ancestor altar? I don't care. What's good, that altar? No, Grandma, what is tragedy? The tragedy is when the good thing is completely destroyed. The broken guitar not only destroyed a musical instrument, but also the love and dream of Miguel. Tears of her husband's back. He just took the picture and left the house and rushed through the crowded crowd. But to participate in the contest, he needs his own instrument. Miguel had to ask for help from those around him. But for a long time, no one would let him borrow the guitar. In the midst of extremely despair, Miguel looked up to see De La Cruz's bronze statue. He, in the language, seized the opportunity to make him make a decision contrary to his ancestors. It was dark now, candles shimmering all over the street corner of the square. Mexico's Dia de los Muertos festival, organized on November 1st and 2nd every year. Somewhat similar to the ceremony of China, but culture is completely opposite. The Mexican festival does not bring the spear. Everyone danced, at combination of Lin-Din party and a lift to congratulate each other, use happily to commemorate the ancestors. The glowing fireworks in the night sky became the perfect concealer for Miguel. Below the image of De La Cruz's concept is the guitar that makes his legend. Miguel muttered to herself and could not help but broke up the strings that had been sleeping for a long time. Outside, someone immediately discovered abnormalities. They shouted that there were people mixing the music of the music idol, and Miguel panicked, no way to retreat. Seeing the exposed incident, he hurriedly explained, "Not as people think, music idol is mine." There was no one inside. Miguel was extremely scared, but his body has gradually become transparent. No one saw him anymore. Amidst the crowd, heard his parents calling his name. Miguel rushed over, but once again touched the space. He was too much to fall straight to the grave. When he was pulled up by a kind person, Miguel felt extremely scared because the woman in front of him was a dry skeleton. It turned out that he entered the world of souls. Only the dead can see him. During panic, Miguel met her death. After a while of asking, grandparents realized the reason for the ancestor, Imelda, could not pass him, maybe due to Miguel's fault. Moreover, he became half a ghost. To find out what was happening, people had to lead him to the world of souls. In the immediate future is the Marigold Bridge, where the connection between the world of people living and the negative world. Mexicans believe that marigold petals can save the energy of the sun, so they can enlighten the way to Earth for souls. The deceased who want to cross the bridge must have photos worshipped in the world of living. Otherwise, they will not be able to overcome the test round. In Mexican traditional culture, one will go through 3 times in life. The first time is when apnea is died in a biological sense. The second time is when organizing the ceremony. That moment, your social identity will be wiped out from the world. And the third time is when the last person in the world of the lives forgets you. When no one misses you anymore, it is really deceased. At this time, Miguel's great-grandmother was angry to smash the computer's computer. She could not believe that her photo was not worshipped. As soon as the situation became tense, Miguel took out the picture that should have been placed on the ancestor altar. The ancestor was extremely angry. The boy wearing a blue hat hurriedly explained the reason why this was because Miguel had mixed the guitar of the deceased. Must be done before the sun rises. Miguel's body will completely disappear and become a real soul.
The ancestor immediately took out a petal and direction Miguel's side, intended to give him blessing, but it was accompanied by a condition that forbidden him to touch music forever. Miguel has no other way to accept it. In the midst of the golden petals covering him back to the real world, but children are still children. In the end, he still did not want to give up music. Miguel picked up the guitar again. In just 2.5 seconds, Miguel violated the promise and was brought back to the soul world. Faced with the scold of the old lady, Miguel said that they had lived once, so why did they have the right to interfere in his life? But the only relative can help now, only Mr. Tao. So Miguel fled everywhere to find De La Cruz. But the Dante dog led Miguel to meet a man who failed to cross the bridge. While eavesdropping, Miguel learned that this man had a close relationship with De La Cruz. The reason he could not cross the bridge was because no one in the realm of Duong placed a photo for him. He could help Miguel get tickets in the performance to meet De La Cruz for blessing, but on the condition that Miguel had to bring a photo to the real world to put on the altar. In the other side of the ancestors reported to the police, the news of a Rissi boy who appeared in the soul world spread everyone. Omelda also summoned Alabrige to search Miguel. To avoid being discovered, Hector has disguised for Miguel into a dry skeleton. But Miguel hidden that he still had other relatives, and Hector also lied. In fact, he does not have tickets in the show, but can be used his talent to bring Miguel sneaked into the backstage. Unfortunately, Ka Than has never participated in chasing. At this time, De La Cruz is holding a lavish party on the tower. The only way to get tickets is to participate in the music contest and win. This will receive an invitation to attend the party. But currently there is no guitar to use. Hector had to lead Miguel to the slum. He looked very bad. The light on the body constantly blinks. That means people in the world are about to forget him. Chorizo earnestly begged Hector to sing a last song to say goodbye. Hector gave up singing for a long time in his sleep, but in the end he still decided to break the rules because of this friend. In the middle of the dim night, Hector spoke emotionally. In the voice filled with sorrow and pity, Chorizo enjoys the last moments in peace. Miguel did not expect that this stupid man had a music talent on par with the god. When the music ends, Chorizo about to leave. Thanks. What's he? I forgot. If in the afterlife no one misses him anymore, he will disappear from here. We call it the last departure. The first time, Miguel had a feeling of heart for the first time. On the way to the competition, Miguel expressed that he was completely unexpectedly, Hector was such a talented musician. It's been a long time since anyone has been praised. Hector was a bit excited. He told Miguel that he was a partner of De La Cruz. Moreover, all the skills of the gods are taught by him. But Miguel only considers it a bragging. The contest is about to start, but now Miguel is a bit standard. Hector is so curious why a music lover is so shy. Knowing this was the first time Miguel stood on the stage, causing Hector to panic. Once failure not only misses the holidays, but may even face the last departure to make sure to succeed. Hector wants to go on stage. I definitely have to sing. Why? If even performing on stage I did not dare, what else did I have to be a musician? Is that important? Of course important. Because I not only want to have the blessing of the god, I also want to evidence men that I deserve that blessing. What a touching thought. At this moment, Hector has no choice other than bet all. Under his encouragement, Miguel finally stood on stage. Well, what is he doing? Why not sing? Change it to the dog to sing. Finally, the performance of both conquered all the audience. But in time to prepare for the award, his ancestors took him to find him. Miguel wanted to run away, but Hector felt heartbroken because he lied. Obviously, Miguel still has other relatives. It is completely possible to return now and help him put the photo on the altar. So the two of them had a controversy. Miguel threw Hector's photos down and left alone, but soon he was blocked by Omelda on the road. Miguel quickly ran away. Finally, an iron door separated the two of them. Miguel said that people would never understand how much he loved music. At this time, the old lady suddenly sang. Miguel is extremely horned. He thought his ancestors hated music. Omelda said that she also loved music. until now still remember the moments with her husband singing. But since she had a daughter, she realized that there was something more important than music. A stable living family is what she wants. But her husband kept hugging the dream of bringing music around the world, because her life was forced to sacrifice some things. But Miguel still could not understand why his family could not support his dream. He still chose to look to De La Cruz for help. After many efforts, Miguel finally, with the help of the champion, successfully sneaked into the party in the tower. But this place is too crowded and bustling. Miguel has no chance to approach De La Cruz. He could only stand high and sing to attract his attention. Miguel has experienced many difficulties. Finally, met his old man. De La Cruz took Miguel to enjoy the glory and reputation of an artist. Miguel thought for a while and asked De La Cruz he had regretted his family abandoning his family for music. De La Cruz answered calmly, "An artist's dream should not be imprisoned by a family. The outside world is our home." Later, De La Cruz wanted to invite Miguel to participate in his performance, but Miguel refused because his body was about to disappear. He had to return to the real world before it was morning. Just when De La Cruz prepared to bless him, Hector appears. He hoped that Miguel could bring his photo back. De La Cruz snatched the photo. He realized that Hector was about to be forgotten. Hector immediately got angry. He accused all of these things De La Cruz caused. After the group tan-pounded in the past, he took away his songs and monopolized all rights, make the whole world unaware that the famous songs of De La Cruz is composed by Hector. Now Hector's only wish is to go through the Marigold Bridge to see her daughter again before she died. Please help him once. Miguel suddenly realized their story was identical to the script in De La Cruz's film. The only difference is, in the movie, characters
being poisoned by De La Cruz, Hector felt angry. He immediately understood everything. In the past, Mr. Din returned to his family, but De La Cruz insisted he stayed because he had no talent for Hector's writing. He could not be famous. But when Hector was determined to leave, he poured a glass of farewell. That lie-do took away his life, Hector, because Hector's indignation rushed to fight with De La Cruz. But in this negative world, De La Cruz became powerful. He ordered the guards to serve the Hector. Later, De La Cruz explained to Miguel that he attaches great importance to his reputation. Hopefully he had no doubt, but Miguel's face showed a panic. De La Cruz came up with a plan. He immediately tore the picture, crushed the marigold petals, and ordered the throw. Miguel went to the groundwater cave. Miguel was defeated by her innocence. He screamed for help, but no one responded. At this moment, Hector, who was also thrown down. Miguel was extremely touched and hugged him. Tears fall like rain. He was afraid to say that he was wrong. The new family is the most important thing. Suddenly, the body of Hector started to blink. He became weaker than ever. Hector knew that he did not have much time. The only thing he wanted was to see her daughter again. Tell her late apology, "I really love you." Miguel hurriedly removed the photo, but turned out to be torn from the photo was Hector. He was the old man of Miguel and her aunt, who was the only one in the real world to remember Hector. Once his daughter passed away, he would disappear forever, like Chorizo. Hector looked at her photo, showing the scene for her daughter to hear. It turned out that the song Remember Me was written for her. Just as desperate, Imelda found them. Even the miraculously hairy dog turned into Alebrije. Everyone reunited again. Miguel completely understood. Nothing is more important than the family and is willing to accept the blessing. But before that, he had to find De La Cruz to get back photo so that Hector is also placed on the altar. Imelda explained to the old lady about Hector's past. Imelda finally understood that the betrayed man did not want to return, but was killed by De La Cruz on the way back home. Although she could not forgive Hector, she still decided to help him regain the picture. Everyone pretended to be behind-the-scenes staff and sneaked behind the stage of the performance. Suddenly, they met De La Cruz in the corridor. Imelda immediately used his heel to punish him. The one who killed people loved the most in life. Who? Flag. The person she said was me. I am the one she loves the most. Do not interrupt. My anger is still not relieved. Hector, what are you doing here? During the scramble, the picture was on Imelda,
But unfortunately, she was taken to the lifting pedestal and appeared in the middle of the morning game. One side is the surprised eyes of the audience. The other side is the security team is coming. In an endangered situation, Imelda had to take the courage to sing. Her talent made the audience under the stage clapping incessantly. Hector also quickly holds the guitar for Imelda. Dela Cruz did not want the picture to fall into the hands of others, so he also participated in the performance. The performance seemed perfect, but the inside was full of stress. At the end of the repertoire, Imelda moved into Hector's arms. The last 100 years of hatred was finally resolved in this moment. Imelda gives photos to Miguel, then take out the petals to bless the blessing. What surprised Miguel was that this time no longer had to ban music. Right when Miguel was about to receive petals full of love, Dela Cruz appeared to prevent everything. He pulled Miguel to the high radio. If his evil behavior was discovered in the real world, his reputation would completely collapse. The ancestors suddenly came up with a new idea. They turned the camera towards Dela Cruz. In the blink of an eye, his cruel face and tricks were exposed to the entire audience that made people stir. He murdered him and also robbed his song. Murder is because we need to seize the opportunity, so we have to do so. Without any tricks, suddenly Dela Cruz threw Miguel down a terrible height. Right when he was about to melt, a giant cat could keep him. Unfortunately, Hector's photo has fallen into the water. Dela Cruz thought that everything was fine. He confidently stepped onto the stage as usual, but did not expect to be rotten eggs and broken tomatoes thrown over. Obviously, he was close. The angrily cat stepped onto the stage and sucked him up and threw away, waiting for hanging instead of the death of Dela Cruz in the underworld, identical to the positive. Hector's body is getting more and more sparkling. He knew Coco was about to die and would forget him. Although his daughter came to the soul world, he would disappear forever. Never see my beloved Coco again. Miguel burst into tears and tried to find the picture, but it was all too late. The sun is about to appear, so if you do not leave here, Miguel will forever be detained in this place. We are all about time. No, Mrs. Co could not forget him. He just hoped she knew that he loved it. Hector, we bless you. Miguel, without any conditions. Mr. Toe, please, no, go home. I promise I will not let her try to forget him. A stream of worms of this place and brought Miguel return to the real world. He took the guitar to run home, but unfortunately, his family once again wanted to stop him. Mrs. Co, Mrs. Co, Mrs. Co, did she hear me? I'm Miguel.
Do you remember? That father, please, if you forget him, he will never return again. This is his guitar, right? Once upon a time, he once sung to her. Look, this is him. Father, do you still remember my father? The old lady's old ladies seem to have lost her memories. What are you running to find your grandmother? What's wrong with this child? I thought I wouldn't come back anymore. Sorry, my father and family are reunited with the most important thing, but still lacking one person. Mizu looked at the guitar in tears. He seemed to think of something. Despite the obstacles of everyone, he started to thin and sing, "Remember Me, Mom." Waiting for a bit, she heard the singing seem to feel the call of her father. She suddenly raised her voice. The family stood around quietly, shed tears of emotion. When the song ended, she miraculously called her daughter's name. She slowly told the story of her father and this song. Her grandmother took out the letters of her father from the drawer with the image of the photo. Hector's face is finally fully assembled. A year later, the truth about that year was clarified. The famous songs turned out to be written in letters sent home, including immortal song "Remember Me." Hector's photo has also been placed on the family's ancestor altar, but in this year's Soul Festival, on the altar appeared more photos of her grandmother. She passed away like in the story. The prototype of her grandmother also left on October 18, 2022, aged 109 years old. In the world, Hector's soul hugged her daughter tightly, but the moment he carefully walked through the bridge still made people feel sorry. Music that has never cut this family, but also the music that has connected them again. Death is not the end of life, but forgetting is the end. We will then face the departure of our parents and our own departure. So nothing is more important than the family. Please cherish the people next to. Do not let life have too much regret. If you have the time, this is a must-see movie. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.